Welcome to the Self-Care for the Creative podcast, where we talk self-care strategies for creatives. We also talk mindset, wellness, personal growth, and artist development within the music industry. I'm your host, Stefani Fryzel. I'm an artist, author, and creative coach, and the founder of Stefani Fryzel Coaching, where we help artists, songwriters, and producers increase their impact, income, and visibility within a year with our artist development program. This season, we are diving deep into calling forth your next level. I'm so glad you're here. All right, welcome to the Self-Care for the Creative podcast. I'm Stefani Fryzel. I'm the creator of Stefani Fryzel Coaching. We are a coaching company for songwriters, artists, and music producers. And today we're going to be talking about creativity and confidence. Okay, I did some polls in my Instagram stories recently, and I just wanted to see where you guys were at and what kind of topics you wanted to discuss this season. Definitely love to hear your feedback so that we can kind of pick topics that are useful to you and you can take them and run with them and apply them to your life. So somebody voted on my Instagram story to talk about creativity and confidence, how to show up boldly as an artist. This is such an awesome topic because how many times are we holding ourselves back, right? And how many of us have confidence issues or struggle from imposter syndrome or overthink or doubt ourselves? I mean, this is everybody, right? Whether you care to admit it or not, this is everybody. This is me, this is you, this is everybody. So today we're going to talk about creativity, confidence, how to show up boldly as your authentic self as an artist, ditching perfectionism and embracing your art. So pull up, grab a seat, grab something to sip, get comfortable. We are going to go deep this season in season 2. I am so excited to share with you a lot of different topics this season. We have great guests coming on, and I'm just excited to explore deeper topics this season, and I hope you get something useful out of it. So let's get into it. Perfectionism. She's a trap. She is a trap, okay? Also, perfectionism is a total illusion, okay? Actually, there is no perfect. Actually, a lot of the time, we can use perfectionism as a sneaky little excuse to not do something. How many times have you not put out that song or not put out that project because quote unquote wasn't ready? Right? I've worked with actually a lot of artists that have this block. I've noticed sometimes when I've worked with other artists or other songwriters, we'll be working on a song and they love the song and they're like, this is so great. I want to put this out. This wants to be on my project, da 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 da. And then they'll come back and be like, actually, I want to change this verse, or can we change this drum sound? Or actually, I want to redo the whole production. And then we end up going through like 2 to 3 different versions of a production or more and rewrite the thing to, hell. And then all of a sudden they're just like, I don't really want to put it out anymore. And I'm not saying this is the case for everybody, but sometimes what happens is you just get in your own way. One thing that can happen is if you are excited about something and you really, really love it, and then all of a sudden you don't love it anymore, it becomes work, and you're like, just crumple it up and throw it away, right? But then the other thing is sometimes we legitimately just get in our own heads and get in our own ways and say, you know what, I don't really want to put myself out there, or maybe it's not good enough, or the fear of judgment too, right? Like that's a huge one. I mean, I know this is so true for so many people that are just starting their artist projects. Like, what are people going to think? Will people think it's cool? Is it good enough? Is it arty enough? Is it whatever enough? And that fear really paralyzes a lot of people. So let's talk about how we get over that. How do we get over that? How do we ditch perfectionism? How do we get the heck out of our own way and just start throwing spaghetti at the wall? So just be aware. That's one of the things I like to talk about a lot, is just connecting with your friend awareness. Catch yourself. Is this perfectionism getting in my way? Or is it actually I have a specific standard that I want to reach? Because those are two very different things. You may have a very specific standard of like, no, I want it to be this level of quality before putting it out. And then there's the other version of perfection where it's just like there's no bar that you can actually fulfill, and then you just stop yourself yourself from ever putting it out, right? Those are two very, very different things. So be aware of when you're doing that. If you do that, just check in. Be like, have I worked on 5 songs and then cut the whole thing just because of whatever? I just didn't end up putting it out because I just didn't love it anymore, or I'm afraid or whatever. Like, catch yourself when that happens, okay? The other sort of perfectionism, which I don't think necessarily is a bad thing, is just having a high standard, having quality control, having that bar for yourself. That's also totally cool. But know the difference. Know the difference between the two. Getting out of the perfectionism, how are we doing that? And why is it happening? Like I said, it's happening because of fear of failure, fear of rejection, unrealistic expectations, okay? And perfectionism can really keep you stuck creatively. Like, it can really keep you in this starting, stopping mode, and drain joy out of your process, right? I don't want that for you. I've definitely seen a lot of artists where it's like they are in love with something and then they take it so far and then they just abandon it and they never put it out. And what a tragedy, right? Like, people need your music. People need your art. Think about the difference that you could make in someone's life if you put that song out. And also know that everybody has a growth process, okay? Like, I have music that I put out from 15 years ago that makes me cringe so much. And I want to take it all down and just be like, I hope nobody saw that, right? But the act of doing it, the act of putting it out, that's your reps. That's you getting the exercise in. That's you getting your experience and going through your own discovery process as an artist. So if you're going to do this thing, you have to get over the fear of putting yourself out there. There's no way around it. I'm sorry, honey. There's no way around it. You got to put yourself out there. And how people decide to react to it is totally up to them. I'm actually, at the time of this recording, it is April 3rd, and I'm actually coaching with Jen Sincero. She is the author of You Are a Badass. She has her live coaching program every year around this time of year, and this is my 3rd time doing it with her. And she always talks about not caring about what other people think, because somebody is going to love what you do and someone might hate what you do. And so it's never the thing. It's never personal to you, because it's always more of a projection about how they're perceiving something. So that is a nice little trick to get over perfectionism and to get over the fear of what people think and the fear of judgment and all of that garbage. Because put yourself out there, someone's going to react to it in one way and another person is going to react to it in a completely different way. That is a fact that has nothing to do with you, right? Because if it's the same art, if it's the same thing, if it's the same song or whatever project you're putting out there, and there's 2 completely different reactions, that's a them thing, not you, right? So that helps me kind of get out of my own way too, is to just not care and practice not caring what other people think, and practice not worrying about how it's going to be perceived, because this is all really a muscle at the end of the day. And that's kind of what I want to talk about next, is confidence, right? We're talking about being confident as an artist. What is confidence anyway? Like, it's a muscle, right? It's like everything else. It's like going to the gym and doing reps. You can build confidence by lifting small weights and moving up to bigger weights. And that can look like, putting out that one song, like whatever that baby step is for you to build your confidence, and then doing those reps over and over again. It's a muscle. And I'm a huge advocate for acting as if. Even if you don't feel confident, like, I didn't think I was going to ever start a podcast, okay? And when I started putting together this podcast, I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but I'm just going to act as if like I know what I'm doing. And here we are. We're at season 2. We're here, and now I'm a podcast host, okay? So this is what I'm talking about. Like, I know a lot of people like to talk about fake it till you make it. To me, that doesn't feel good to me. Like, I don't like faking anything. Like, to me, it feels inauthentic. But acting as if is like, there's a sense of playfulness with it and a curiosity. And it's like, ooh, I get to play this new part, right? I get to try on this new energy. I get to try on this new personality. And it becomes fun, right? It becomes a game. It becomes, what can I become, right? And acting as if and practicing acting as if, that is a huge confidence builder. And eventually it just becomes part of your identity. The more times that you do something, that's what gives you confidence. And the more times you do something well, your confidence just goes up and up and up, okay? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you are sitting in the corner being like, I don't know if I want to do this, I don't want to put myself out there, fastest thing that's going to boost your confidence is to just do it. Just do it. Throw it out there, throw some spaghetti at the wall, and practice not caring what other people think and how they are going to perceive it, because it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. This is your art. This is your project. You're the boss. You get to decide what you want to do. And people need it, right? If you don't do it, like, think about the people that are going to miss out on hearing and experiencing your awesome perspective with your music or your art or whatever it is you're putting out. Music and art is healing, okay? It's healing. Think about your favorite artists that you listen to that like get you through the day, right? Like I'm a huge Russ fan, and like I will, on my bad days, I will just crank Russ, and like I'm like he doesn't even know how much he's changing my frequency right now and making my bad day into a good day. This is why music matters and why it's so powerful, and why putting it out there and just taking a chance on yourself and betting on yourself, you never know how you're going to impact somebody in the long run. So those are my two big tips on building confidence and showing up boldly as an artist. And before we switch gears here, I also want to make a note that this season, I definitely want to hear from you guys. Please email us if you want us to touch on a specific topic. Please let us know what you want to hear about. The email is info@stefanifryzel.com. I'll put it in the show notes. So definitely shoot us a message. Tell us what you want to hear this season. And we're going to do listener mail so we can touch on a couple of questions that can come in, and feel free to shoot us a question and we'll answer it for you on the podcast. Okay. So here are a few questions that I'm just going to dive into around this topic. Have you ever struggled with perfectionism in your creative journey? Can you share a moment when it held you back and how you pushed through it? Oh, yes, many, many times. So for me personally, perfectionism, I have a pretty good ability to let something go. Like when I'm like, okay, this song is done. Let's just, for me, I actually have a pretty good muscle of being like, all right, let's put it out there. Let's go. Let's run with it. And I can let things go. Perfectionism actually shows up a little bit different for me sometimes. It actually shows up to me in my life. Okay. This is like a personal thing, and it can show up for you in a different way. There's different ways that perfectionism can show up. For me, the perfectionism shows up in terms of like getting everything done, or like getting it all done. I can sometimes beat myself up over dropping balls, like dropping, oh, I forgot to do this one thing, or I was trying to juggle this over here and then I didn't get to it. So I sometimes have this habit of like, oh man, I kind of fucked up because my intention was to like keep this thing moving, and I just didn't have the energy and I couldn't do it. So that's my version of perfectionism, of like, and then I have to sit myself down and be like, okay, we're doing that thing. We're doing that perfectionist thing. And I have a whole process of just being like, it's okay. It's okay if you didn't get to it. It's fine. You don't have to, sink the basket every time. It's just unrealistic. It's not fair. And it's mean to yourself. It's mean. So yes, I definitely struggle with perfectionism sometimes, but I have a process. I've identified my own process that helps me push through it. And it's okay exercise, which I've talked about on my social media, helps me a lot. It's just letting myself off the hook for 5 minutes. The it's okay exercise, if you're not familiar, it's just write a list of things that, maybe you feel guilty about, or maybe you feel like you fucked up on, and you just say, it's okay. It's okay I didn't do that. It's okay I didn't fold the laundry. It's okay I didn't get back to that friend. It's okay I didn't, make my sales goal for this. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Coddling and hugging your little inner self and being like, there, everything's fine. It's like a nice little energetic, emotional hug for yourself to be like, you don't have to be perfect. Period. In fact, don't. Perfect is boring. Perfect is totally boring. Like, how many beautiful art pieces are there out in the world where the mistake, the quote unquote mistake in the art, ended up being the thing that made it so beautiful and amazing? My husband and I actually talk about this a lot in records, like in actual songs. There's some like old songs, classic songs, where and my husband is such a nerd for like music history and like the story behind the song. He like knows so many backstories of like hip hop songs and stuff, and he's like such a nerd for that stuff. But he tells me all kinds of cool things. He's like, oh, did you know that in this song the click track was actually running, and it wasn't supposed to be there, but they just kept it in there, and now it's just part of the song. And I was like, oh fuck, that's so cool. I would have never noticed that. Or even just like, I think there's a Phil Collins song. I have to double check which song it is, but there's a song where like, so yeah. I think that's the one. Anyway, that's not a word. Okay. And it was a number one song in the world. And he talks about how when he made his demo, that was the sort of mumble pass that came out. And he never found a word to replace it with. And he was like, fuck it. I'm just going to put it out there. And that song was a number one hit song. And it's not even a real word, you guys. And these are like classic examples of how like being unperfect is like the magic. So as I wrap up this episode, I want to challenge you this week, and this looks different for everybody. How can you let go of perfectionism in just a small way? Can you release that song? Can you not beat yourself up? Can you show up a little differently? Whatever it is for you. I want you to think about something this week. How can you let go just a little bit of perfectionism? How can you show up confidently just a little bit in a baby step? Because the increments in which you take this is really dependent on you, and you'll know within yourself what's a good next step, and just trust that and give that a try this week. Alrighty. Okay. So I'm going to wrap this up with one more quick question, and then we are going to wrap it up. So we've got building confidence. Many artists wait to feel ready before putting their work out into the world. What advice do you have for someone who's stuck in that mindset? If you're waiting to feel ready before something, you're always going to be waiting. If that's not motivation enough, girl, I don't know what is. Okay. Right. Here's the worst thing that can happen. This is what you do not want to have happen. You don't want to be sitting there and be like, I really want to put out this album, and I really want to work on my artist project, and or whatever. I really want to start this business, whatever this thing is for you. And then by the time you hit the same time next year, you still haven't done it. Like, how shitty does that feel, right? When you have this thing pulling at you, when you have this thing you want to do and you never do it. It's the worst feeling ever to be like, oh shit, it's April again and I still haven't done that thing. Meanwhile, there's other people doing the thing, right? Think about how far you can come if you just decide to move it forward. If you just decide we're going to move it forward, we're going to give it a shot. And so my advice is, if you are just waiting to feel ready, you're always going to be waiting. And actually, one of the biggest things that has helped me keep moving is to do it before you're ready. Like, just jump in, right? Like, if you don't know how to swim, the best way you're going to learn how to swim is if you're pushed off the diving board and you're forced to swim, right? It's like literally sink or swim. Do that in a way that makes sense for you, right? Like, I like to do things before I feel ready. I actually think it's a really good sign that the next step for you, if something kind of scares you a little bit, you're like, I don't know if I can do that. That's the next thing, because that is probably the next thing that's just going to expand you and grow you and stretch you in a new way. And it actually means that you are ready for it. You are ready for it, because we learn to crawl, and then we learn to walk, and then we learn to run. Okay. We don't go from crawling to running, obviously, but that's the next thing. Whatever that next thing is for you that makes you feel a little uncomfortable, do it before you're ready. Okay. And see what happens. Why not? See what happens. I think, and that's the other thing, we're going to circle back to confidence, because when you do it and you're like, holy crap, I didn't think I was ready for that, but I did it. What a confidence booster, right? Okay, so this is what I'm so excited that we're talking about: confidence and creativity and getting over perfectionism and getting over the fear of rejection. These are all so interconnected, so important for all creatives, so important for artists and songwriters to hear. Not just artists and songwriters, for creative entrepreneurs, for people that are running businesses. These are all things that come up all the time, okay? And we deal with this when we're coaching our clients as well. Like, mindset is everything. So I hope this episode was helpful for you guys. If you want to continue the conversation, please hit us in the email, send us questions, comments. If there's any listener mail, we will check it out and we will answer your questions. And please join us at one of our events coming up at Stefani Fryzel Coaching. If you're an artist, a songwriter, we have stuff going on all year around. And I'm so excited that we have a songwriting retreat coming up in October in Los Angeles. And it's 3 days. We're going to do songwriting. We're going to do mindset. We're going to do coaching. It's our first annual songwriting retreat at Stefani Fryzel Coaching. I'm so pumped about it, and I can't wait to meet some of you guys. And I hope today was a nice little gem for you for your self-care. And I will see you at the next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you're an artist, songwriter, or producer looking to rise to your next level, come join us at the Songwriter Series for music mentorship from hit songwriters. Or join us at our annual Hitmakers Songwriting Retreat this October in Los Angeles. For more info on all our events, visit stefanifryzel.com or just email us at info@stefanifryzel.com. For more self-care gems, check out my book, Self-Care for the Creative. And don't forget, self-care is always within reach, and your greatest masterpiece will always be you.